Welcome back, everybody. We're at fight week of UFC 314, and let's go over the full card starting from bottom to top. First fight is Nora Cornell and Haley Cowan. I'm going with Nora Cornell here. Why is because she's been getting finishes, TKO over Melissa Mullins. That's all right, in my opinion. She did lose to Jacqueline Cavalcanti, but it was a split decision, and Cavalcanti is not bad, Haley Cowan, I think she actually lost her last fight to Jamie Lynn Horth, which isn't the best, honestly. She has a few finishes, but Cornell has more. She only has one decision win. And yeah, I think Cornell's just gonna outstrike her and might even get the TKO in the later rounds. So I'm going with Nora Cornell. Second fight, Tresean Gore and Marco Tullio. Now, we've only seen Marco Tullio once in the UFC. It was against Ihor Potieria, but he made pretty easy work of him. And not many people do that, honestly. I know Tresean Gore, he did also kind of walk through Antonio Tricoli, but that's Tricoli, so. But he does have a pretty nasty guillotine. Also got Josh Fremd with it, as well as Tricoli. So, we've seen Tresean Gore a little more experienced in here, but I think Tullio is probably going to win this fight by TKO. Honestly, I'm going to go first round TKO. Maybe it could go to Gore. Maybe he mixes it up, takes it to the ground, gets another guillotine. It's kind of close, honestly, but I think I'm going to give the edge to Tullio here. Now we have Sudmadwarji and Mitraposo. I know Mitraposo from his fight with Andre Lima, who, he took that fight on short notice, and Lima missed weight by 4 pounds, But Mitraposo won. He lost the fight 3-0. So, Sudmadwarji, in his last fight, it was against Charles Johnson, but he honestly did pretty good in that fight. Could have won rounds 1 and 3, but he did get hurt badly in round 2, almost finished, but good frame advantage from Sudmadwarji. I believe he's 5'8" at flyweight, and Mitraposo 5'5". Sudmadwarji 72-inch reach, Mitraposo 64.5 inches of reach. So, yeah, huge frame advantage from Sudmadwarji. I think he's going to win this fight, probably by decision. Moving on, Cedrikas Dumas and Mikhail Oleksiejczuk. Now, I honestly don't think this is too crazy of an opinion, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think Cedrikas Dumas is going to get cooked in this fight. I think he's going to get battered and destroyed by Mikhail Oleksiejczuk, and Mikhail's just going to outgrit him, land better punches, harder punches. Cedrikas probably shouldn't be able to hold him off, and I'm going to say TKO first round for Oleksiejczuk. Darren Elkins and Julian Erosa. 2 unks in here, 2 vets. I think I'm going to go Erosa here. I've just seen Darren Elkins take a lifetime of damage. A lot of damage. That's his nickname, the damage, so. Yeah, his last fight was against Daniel Pineda. He won the fight, but yeah, that was a bloodbath. That was an actual bloodbath. That's a demonstration, Mario Batista, and now Torres Finney. But Erosa, I feel like he's going to get this one done. His last fight, he beat Christian Rodriguez, which if Christian Rodriguez didn't lose to Malik was Acosta, I would have considered that a lot more impressive than I do now, but it's still a pretty solid win. And who else? I think it was a while ago, but he did get knocked out by Alex Caceres, which, it's not the worst, honestly. So, yeah, I'm going to say Rosa wins by decision. Yeah, I just can't trust Elkins to take too much more damage. Jim Miller and Chase Hooper. Kind of just giving the young 25-year-old prospect, giving him a tough vet. So, undefeated, honestly, I think Jim Miller can maybe even finish this fight. But I feel like if Chase Hooper is going to shoot a takedown, which he will, Miller could honestly just pull guillotine. I don't really see that working here. He did against Damon Jackson. I mean, Damon Jackson didn't do too much to combat it, honestly. So, I think Chase Hooper is going to get him to the ground, survive the guillotine, and eventually either just kind of lay on him for a decision win or get the sub. So, yeah, I'm going to go decision, maybe a submission for Chase Hooper. Yan Xiaonan and Virna Jandiroba. Ooh, this is kind of tough to pick, Yan Xiaonan, she recently fought for the belt a year ago, honestly, not too recent, but that's just Zhang Wei Li. She fights once a year. So, and then she beat Tabitha Ricci at the Macau card, which, honestly, it's Tabitha Ricci. I don't know if that's very impressive, but she did completely shut her down. I think she actually got that fight 30-26 on a scorecard, or maybe I'm not remembering correctly. And Jandiroba, in the last fight, it was a submission win against Lemos. First went for the rear naked, then an armbar. I'm pretty sure that was in the third round. Good adjustments. If this fight goes to the ground, Jandiroba definitely has an advantage. So will it go to the ground? Well, it's WMMA, so yes, it will. I think. So I'm going to say Jandiroba probably gets this fight done. Decision or submission. That's kind of how my last prediction on this card just went. Prelim headliner, we have Dan Ige and Sean Woodson. So, Dan Ige's biggest kryptonite is ranked featherweight contenders, but Sean Woodson is not ranked. So, no, I think Sean Woodson's gonna probably get this one done. Very good boxing, I'd say. Definitely talented there. He actually used to be a professional boxer, I think. At heavyweight too, and now he's down at 145. Pretty crazy. Almost lost 100 pounds. Very weird build for the division. I think he's like 6'2.5" at featherweight, which, yeah, 6'2.5". 78-inch reach. Wow. He has a 71-inch reach, 5'7". So, I just think Sean Woodson's too awkward. It's gonna take some kind of grappler to beat this guy. Maybe an Evloev, but like, obvious. You get what I'm saying? Like, some kind of grappler. It doesn't have to be as high as Evloev, but I don't feel like Ige has I don't know if he has the style. I mean, maybe he could take this fight to the ground, but for the whole 3 rounds, I don't think so. I think Sean Woodson's going to stay at range and land his shots. So I'm going to go with Sean Woodson, probably by decision, 29-28. Now we're moving on to the main card. Nikita Krylov and Dominic Reyes. Yeah, okay, listen, as much as I am a Dominic Reyes fan, and we all know he should have beat John Jones, I think I'm gonna go with Krylov. Good on the ground, Like, on the feet, Reyes doesn't have a bad chance, but Krylov is not bad on the feet. And he did go with a close fight with Magomed Ankalaev, very competitive. And in his last fight, it was so long ago. It was like a year ago or something, or more. Like, doesn't fight much, Krylov. I think he has some injuries going on, but he's healthy now. And in the last fight, it was against Ryan Spann. It was a triangle. So, triangle is at light heavyweight. That's good. Like, in the lower weight classes, we see it too, but those kind of submissions in the heavier weight classes, I think that's pretty impressive. I don't know if he's going to submit Dominic Reyes, but I think he's probably going to take him down and might get some ground and pound off. I don't know if I'll say finish, but I'm going to say pretty dominant decision from Nikita Krylov, but Reyes does have a chance on the feet to catch him, so we'll see. Then Yair Rodriguez and Patricio Pitbull. I know Yair does not have great takedown defense, so Pitbull might be able to take him down and get a TKO on the ground or submission, but he's taking some time off, Yair. He's going to be looking to come back big, and I feel like he's going to have a great performance in the striking. I feel like he's going to get great kicks off. His kicks are a problem for everybody, and yeah, I'm going to say he honestly could get a TKO in this one. I could just see some really good body kicks from him, land some good shots, maybe go into the legs. He could honestly feint to body with a kick and go upstairs. So yeah, I think I'm going to go with Yair Rodriguez just breaking Patricio Pitbull down with kicks. But I am excited for Pitbull's debut. I think he's a very entertaining fighter. So yeah, they're going to give us a good fight. And then we have Bryce Mitchell versus Gene Silva. Gene Silva is a minus 340 favorite, and he's getting the demon choked out of him. Now you could say, oh, are you supporting Bryce Mitchell for his opinions? Well, listen, okay, maybe it wasn't the best opinion, but I'm all about forgiveness and not kicking a man while he's down. He made a mistake. He came out. He was getting shut down by Bear on the Jackson podcast, who is a clown, or at least in that case was a clown. And yeah, man. Well, do you support Gene Silva? A man talks about Jesus. He goes, fuck Bryce Mitchell. That's my impression of Gene Silva. But yeah, dude, like, Jourdain was taking Gene Silva down, no problem. Like, he was getting actual Bilal Leon Edwards style double legs on him. So Bryce Mitchell, it's a matter of time. I mean, I'm on the feet. Gene Silva definitely has that advantage. Finesse, power, pretty much everything. But it's a matter of time before Bryce Mitchell shoots. He's probably going to get it to the ground. And maybe he does get caught, but I'm going to say he brings it to the ground and gets a sub. Taps Gene Silva out. So I'm going to say, I'm calling it all the marbles. Round 1 sub. Bryce Mitchell. Let's go. Okay, co-main event. We have Michael Chandler, Paddy Pimblett. Okay, well, a lot of people are going to go with Michael Chandler to knock Paddy Pimblett out in round 1. And I can see it. But when's the last time that has happened with a Michael Chandler fight? It was against Dan Hooker. how many years ago. And then, I mean, the Ferguson knockout, it was good. It was in round 2. But is he going to front kick Paddy Pimblett? I don't feel like he is. So I'm going to say Paddy Pimblett probably gets his way with a decision. Maybe he can honestly hold off Michael Chandler. I feel like Michael Chandler is honestly going to underestimate Paddy Pimblett's power and probably get stung with some straight shots coming in. And then maybe, I'm not sure if Paddy will get this fight to the ground, but Oliveira was getting Chandler down pretty good, so it's not out the window. So I'm going to say probably a decision from Paddy Pimblett in this fight, but some trouble for him because of Chandler's power. Now we're to the main event. Alexander Volkanovski, Diego Lopes. Okay, this is such a hard fight to predict. It's either, a narrative is like, either Lopes is going to catch Volk in round 1 and put him to sleep, or Volk's just going to beat Diego up for 5 rounds. Diego Lopes, he's going to be very dangerous from the gates. Yeah, and if you're going to go with Diego Lopes, I would say round 1 KO is your best bet here. Submission, we'll talk about that. But, yeah, I feel like Diego Lopes is probably going to get the first round, come out aggressive, and to Volk. Now, this question is Volk going to survive the first round? And if he does, I feel like he's slowly going to take over as the fight goes on. Is he going to finish Diego Lopes? I'd say he's able to. Honestly, Diego Lopes is like, in the Danny Ige fight, he did slow down a lot, but he did have to make weight 3 times for that fight, so understandable. And in the Ortega fight, he didn't really slow down, so, but definitely Volk has the advantage, and if this goes to the later rounds. So, let's talk about if Volk could take this fight to the ground. Now, he can definitely take down Diego Lopes, I think, but it's honestly a pretty dangerous route, honestly, because Lopes does have some nasty submissions, and he could honestly catch Volk in one of those, but I feel like Volk should be able to hang on the ground, and yeah, and he has a good chance on the feet. Kind of just sit out, move back, but also catch Lopes if he tries to come in. I think he actually has a reach advantage, Volk. He has a 72-inch reach. Oh, it says Lopes does have a little bit higher of a reach, but he is 5 inches taller, so makes some sense, but they're pretty evenly matched in reach. I feel like Volk could hit him with some good jabs, but Diego, I'd see that uppercut as an issue, right hand. Yeah, tough fight to predict, honestly, but I think I'm gonna go with Volk. It's just if he does, if Lopes connects in round 1, he's probably gonna get a knockout win and win the belt. But Volk, I feel like he takes his time, works his way into the fight, and eventually he's just going to be more fresh, gets the better punches off on Diego, and maybe Diego at some point gets frustrated, tries to come in, and Volk could shoot a reactionary takedown. There's some danger with Diego's submissions, but I feel like he could honestly get his own way on the ground, so I'm going to say Volk probably mixes it up, but does have a good striking performance, survives round 1 and maybe 2, but Diego could get this fight. He could get this fight over with in round 1 if he connects really well, so I don't know, very competitive fight. Yeah, like, the odds, Volk is minus 148. Honestly, I'd have it more slim than that. I'd have him at maybe minus 120 at the most, if not a pick'em for this fight. Yeah, I'd have it as a pick'em. Like, this is really close, and I'd definitely understand if you went with Lopes here. Volk, 36. He's a bit older, coming off 2 knockout losses. So, and Lopes has been on a tear. So, I could see the Lopes pick, but I feel like Volk is gonna get the belt back. So, those are gonna be my predictions for this video. Thanks for watching, and I will make a recap when this card has wrapped up. So, see you then. Goodbye.